In this video, I will be packaging CutePDF Writer executable installation file into MSI file using WiX. The main reason for that is to deploy the software using group policy. I'm starting this video from my GitHub page, and that's because there are a few bits of information here that I will be using for this video. And I will leave the URL in the description down below. Also, in the bottom of the page, you can find more of my videos related to this topic. For example, here you can find videos about installing any using WiX, and I have a video about PSExec, and that's because I will be testing the installation using a system account, and that's because most of the software deployment tools are using system account to deploy the software. So I want to make sure that the installation is successful no matter what user I'm using to deploy the software. And now let's start creating our MSI file, and for that first we need the executable installation file, and for that I will click on the link that I have here that brings us to the CutePDF download page. And here I will click on the free download, and the download should start for us. Now I will go to my downloads folder, and we see our executable right here. The next thing that we need is the WiX configuration file to package this executable into MSI file. And for that I will go back to my GitHub page, and here I have a few more files. One of them is CutePDF, and this is basically a completed WiX configuration file. So you can look at it if you want to, but for this video I will be using this one called template. So I will click on it. And here I have the configuration file. Now I will click here to download the file and go back to my downloads folder. I will right click on the configuration and I will rename it. And I will name it CutePDF, and that's enough. And then I will right click once again and open it with Visual Studio Code. And as you can see, it's an XML file. Basically, it's instructions for WiX on how to package this executable into MSI file. And when using this template, we only care about this part right here. Basically, here we need to fill in the information that is necessary for CutePDF installation. So first we need to name our package, and I will name it CutePDF Writer Installer. Then for exe, we need to provide the executable name. And for that, I will go back to my downloads folder, right click on the executable, click on rename, and I will select the full name. And then I will copy it. Make sure that the extension is also copied because that's very important. Go back to Visual Studio, paste in the value right here. Then for the path, we need to provide where we currently have our executable. So for me, it's D drive and downloads folder. I'm sure that this location for you is a bit different. Now we need to provide silent arguments for the installation to complete silently. And we want a silent installation because we don't want the installation to interrupt our users. So for that, I will go back to my GitHub page, and here I have all the necessary switches for CutePDF silent installation. So I will copy it, go back to Visual Studio, paste in the value right here. Then we need to provide the version number, and this version number is for this MSI file, not for the software. In most cases, I like to keep the software and the MSI file versions the same, but for this video I will just type 1.0.0. Then publisher is not that important, but this is a mandatory field, so I will give it a value of, let's do automation. And the last parameter that we need to provide is GUID. Basically, this is the unique identifier for this MSI package. And to generate it, I will go back to my GitHub page, and here I have a PowerShell command to generate GUID. And I will copy it, open up terminal, or you can open the PowerShell window, and I will paste in the command and press enter, and then it gives us a GUID. And every time I use this command, we get a new GUID. So I will copy one of the values, go back to Visual Studio Code and paste in the value right here. And this is all the information that we need to provide to generate the MSI file. Now to generate the MSI file, I will go back to my terminal. I will change the location in my terminal to the location where I have my WiX configuration file. So I will type cd and then d and then my downloads folder and press enter. If I type there, we can see our CutePDF Writer executable and the WiX configuration file. Now to build the MSI file, we need to write WiX, build, and provide the configuration file name. So it's CutePDF and press enter. Now let's wait a bit and go back to our downloads folder. And as you can see, MSI file was successfully generated for us. And the last thing that we need to do is to see if the MSI file is working correctly. So for that, I will right click on it and click copy. And then I will go to my VMware workstation where I have a virtual machine prepared. And here I have the software folder, so I will click on it and paste in the MSI executable. And in this folder, I also have the psexec executable, and that's because, like I said, I will be installing the software under the system account. So to install it under the system account, I will go to my start menu, open CMD, and run it as administrator. Click yes. Now we want to change our location in the command line to the directory where we have our files. So for that, I will click here and copy the location, go back to the command line, type cd, paste in the location, and press enter. If I type there, we can see our MSI file and the psexec executable. Also, if I type who am I, we can see that this command line is running under the user admin. So to switch that, I will use psexec, so I will type the executable name, then I will type -i for interactive and -s to start the process under the system account. And now we need to provide a process that we want to start. So for me, it's another CMD window. So I'll type CMD and press enter. I will agree with the license terms. And as you can see, now we have a new command line window here. But if I type who am I in this one, it is saying that this command line is running under the account and the authority system. So everything I'm doing in this command line, I am doing it as a system user. So once again, we want to change our directory. I will type cd, paste in the location, and press enter. If I type dir once again, we can once again see our psexec executable and the CutePDF installer. So to start the installation, I will type cmdc. This is not necessary, but it allows us to see when the installation is finished just by looking at the command line. Then I will provide the MSI file name with the extension. And then we need to provide the quiet switches. It's /qn and press enter. Now let's wait a second for the installation to finish. And it seems that the installation is finished. So let's look around and see what happened. So first let's go to the control panel, and for that I will click on the keyboard Windows button and R to open run, and here I will type control. Then on install a program. And as you can see, we have our CutePDF writer installed, and also we have our MSI file installed. That's called CutePDF writer installer, published by Let's Do Automation, and the version number is 1.0.0. So how it works is basically we are installing the MSI file, and then the MSI file installs the executable for us. And it's possible to hide the CutePDF writer installer, but the problem is that if for some reason you will need to troubleshoot the installation and you will hide it, then it can get quite complicated. So I like it to leave it here. So now let's see if the CutePDF writer is working, and for that I will open WordPad. Let's do automation, then go to file, print, and as you can see, we have CutePDF writer printer. And if I print, we get this window right here, and now we can save our PDF file. Let's open it, and it seems to work just fine. And that's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and see you in the next one.